There is one more episode remaining for The Walking Dead, The Ones Who Live. The season finale is set to take place on Sunday, but could it be a finale for one of the main characters and possibly the final episode for Michonne? Welcome back, guys, to Fog Entertainment. And a lot of people are beginning to think that Michonne will be the one to die in The Walking Dead, The Ones Who Live. Now, when this show first came out, people were maybe anticipating it could be Rick. They were bringing Rick back to give some closure to the story. They wanted to finish off the Rick character, and Rick was going to be done with The Walking Dead. But rumours are changing, speculation is changing, and now some people believe that Michonne is the likely one to die out of the main two. And why is that? Because a lot of people are comparing the final shot that we've seen of Rick and Michonne from episode 5 in the last episode of The Ones Who Live to a comic image of Rick and Andrea. Now, in the original Walking Dead series, we never got a relationship between Andrea and Rick. Andrea's character was killed off after season 3, but in the comics, she goes a lot longer, I believe. She lives approximately, I think, all the way through to, like, the war against the Saviors. So, in terms of, like, the Walking Dead show, I believe in the comics, Andrea probably gets to around, what, maybe season 8, 9? I didn't finish the comics, so I can't say for sure, but she does last a hell of a lot longer. She's a more important member of the group. She's more of a fighter. She's more of a stronger character, like Michonne, and she's in a relationship with Rick. And I'm assuming with her both bending down, holding hands with Rick, I think she dies in the comics not long after that image in the comics. So maybe you can draw parallels here. Maybe Michonne is going to be the one to die. Another thing that makes me think someone is definitely going to eat the dust in episode 6 is the fact that Father Gabriel is still around and that he has been brought back. We know that him being a priest, he could technically, I guess, marry Rick and Michonne. And could we get a wedding, but with a bad ending, with a sad ending? I think that's a possibility. It would just be too happy for me if this show ended with Rick and Michonne living happily ever after, because they did portray it as a romance story, a love story, and we've seen that. It's been a love story. It's been too much. It's been shoved down our throats. People want to see the version of Rick Grimes that they got in the original Walking Dead. They haven't really seen that. They've got like this watered down bitch version of Rick who's in love with Michonne, and at times is almost getting bossed around by Michonne. It's almost like Michonne's the masculine one in this series and Rick's the feminine one. So could we see a shocking death? Maybe the death of Michonne, and could that possibly lead to a season 2? I would like to see that. If we're going to do a season 2, I would much rather see a second season without Michonne. We can see Rick being recaptured, and Rick now knows that he has to get back to Alexandria because Judith has no mother. He needs to meet his son, RJ, and that could be Rick's motivation. I'd like to see that, a really pissed off and possessed Rick who wants nothing but revenge after Michonne gets killed. I think that would be a good direction to go if they're going to do a season 2, and I think we'd see a whole new side to Rick, probably a side that we've never seen before, to be honest. So yeah, I'm all for a season 2, but I don't want this love story. I don't need Rick and Michonne together forever, holding hands, making love, kissing and all that shit. I want to see Rick at his best. I want to see Rick coming back. I want to see Rick, the red machete Rick. I want to see the Rick with blood in his face, blood in his eyes, the Rick that is willing to take down and kill and stop absolutely anybody. So that's the Rick I want to see. Hopefully we can get a version of that, but I think it might take Michonne to die for that to happen. And yes, these images are very, very similar, so it potentially could be Michonne that's going to die. I think someone has to die, and I'm just hoping it's Michonne, because if Rick dies, for me, that could be the final nail in the Walking Dead coffin, and I mean the entire series as a whole, because I think once Rick dies, not only do you lose interest in obviously this show, The Walking Dead, The Ones Who Lives, but even the universe. I think the other spin-offs, the Daryl Dixon one, Dead City, with Rick no longer being a part of those shows, for me, they lose quality, they lose interest. I wouldn't be as motivated to watch them without Rick Grimes and the possibility that he can be reunited with all the characters and we can once again see The Walking Dead through the lenses of Rick Grimes' eyeballs, so to speak. So yeah, I think once you kill off the main character, the other shows could have a negative effect from that. But we'll have to wait and see. Let me know in the comments, guys. Do you think Michonne will die? Do you think there's any parallels here between these two images? I mean, they do look pretty damn similar. So, yeah, perhaps it will be Michonne that dies in the finale. I hope it is. I think if Michonne dies, then we might actually finally get, like I said, this new, hardcore, insane, bitter, hell-bent on revenge Rick Grimes that we need, because the Rick Grimes that we've got so far in this series, the one that's so emotional, the one that's upset, the one that's afraid, the one that's scared. I mean, he gets labelled the brave man, but he doesn't act very brave, and it might take the death of Michonne for that to happen. Anyway, guys, that's it. Been Fog Entertainment. Let me know your thoughts down below, and I will catch you in the next one. Until then, though, peace.